All right, hello guys.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's good?
Welcome to the this is Nerdz Decade
Number
episode
15.
15. Yes. Oh, and before we start, we have one quick thing just to clarify for you guys. Anyone who watched the last Evangelion episode we didn't really kind of. How do you want to put this on it? We didn't really clarify.
There was I think there was like a little bout of confusion.
Yes.
So we just wanted to clarify some things.
Yeah. When we did our quality over quantity, the way we went about it wasn't what most people might think. We were going by how much time and how much effort is put into the anime rather than the amount of anime coming out. So,
right.
In other words, instead of producing a ton of shows, just banging them out real quick, right, and throwing them out to the public, it's more about that's the quantity. And the quality part would be it's more about how much time and effort and how much detail and how much story and how good the story is and how much work was put into it. That's the quality piece of it. So we wanted to clarify, just in case if anyone had a misconception or didn't understand how we were going about that topic. That's how we were going about it. So, dude,
right?
Did I explain that in a good way, Dante?
I think you did. Like just in case people got confused.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what we wanted to cover. If for whatever reason you were unsure of the direction that we were going with
or you got confused as to how we were going about it. We wanted to just clarify to make sure people.
So we were just throwing that out there.
Yes, we were just throwing that out there. So that's my quick clarifier. We can now get into today's topic, right, Dante?
Yeah, we can get this party started.
So dude, tell everybody what today's topic is, actually, Dante.
Alrighty, so today's topic, we are going to be talking about the difference, comparing and contrasting.
Yeah, you said contrasting.
Like a trash compactor.
Not a trash compactor.
Gee whiz.
Okay.
But yeah, basically we're going to be talking about the difference between anime works that we all know and love.
Yeah.
And anime inspired works.
So, dude, what did you title the when you did the filler post? You said anime versus anime inspired, correct, Dante?
Yeah. So basically, this is pretty much written from one of my many favorite posts. That if you look on our blog, there's a series of posts called "A Founder's Thoughts with DJ Lewis." Yes. That would be me.
And so, just so we don't make the same mistake again, what we mean by anime versus anime inspired is something that was made here, or that was altered and made by.
That was inspired by anime.
Well, that was made by the U.S. or an American cartoon that was inspired by Japanese anime.
Right.
Actual anime would be stuff that's made from Japan directly. So that's like your shows like Cowboy Bebop and that kind of stuff. Where it's all done in Japan. Yeah, it's all Japanese animated. It's directly from Japan. Anime inspired is stuff that's made here, but that was inspired by a Japanese artist or that took inspiration or took a reference, maybe the art style, maybe some of the story, but it is not references. Yeah, but it's not entirely done in Japan. Right. So that is what we're talking about when we say anime versus anime inspired. Just to clarify, so we don't have the same mistake again.
Exactly. So yeah, basically, guys, I pretty much wrote this post way back in the earlier years.
So, dude, scroll down,
earlier
Dante.
during the year, actually.
Scroll down, Dante, because I want you to name some of the shows that you listed, because I thought that was cool that you gave examples.
Right, definitely. So if you think about like anime, pretty much as a whole, almost to like the time that it, I guess, kind of got started. If you think about it, anime kind of started like way back in the like the early days, like the
early 90s.
That was during our time.
Actually, early 80s.
Well, that's only when we started. Yeah. But it actually goes back even further than that. In fact, it goes back to the 60s.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's when I say really old.
But so, dude, I remember hearing about this, that some of your classic Japanese animated shows like Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star and stuff like that, Dragon Ball Z, started in like the 80s, maybe early 70s. But you're saying it went back further than that, right?
Well, if you think about it, Dragon Ball started back in like the mid 80s.
Yeah. But didn't get over here till the 90s. Yeah, till the 90s, really, because it did come over in the 80s, but it wasn't. It like was the it was like the.
Well, actually,
it was like the late 80s.
It was a little sooner than that, and we'll also cover that too. But actually, dude, I was talking about like one of the first, not even the first, but like one of the earlier titles, like Astro Boy, the original Astro Boy.
Yeah.
When it was like black and white.
But was that inspired? Was that anime inspired, or was that actually
that
from
was
Japan?
actually that's pretty much from Japan.
Okay, so that,
but this was like the real early works of animation.
Okay.
Because even though during back then everything was like still black and white.
Yeah, that was before they had color TV.
Right.
So.
And then of course in the 70s you got Speed Racer.
Speed. Remember what
so basically, we're not talking about the remake that's kind of
every single time you say Speed Racer, I keep thinking of the
immediately you think about that previous episode that we just did.
I keep thinking of the episode about the movie, the film thing that we did. Where I was
live action anime.
I keep thinking that, and like I keep thinking of that thing where I was like, horrible.
And guys, if you want to hear more about that, you can go back and watch that episode.
Yeah, go watch that one.
It's
that was
Nerdz
funny.
11. We had a fun time on that one.
Go check out Nerdz 11. It was really funny. But no. So, dude, you're talking about the original.
Yeah, I'm talking about the actual
anime from Speed Racer. Yeah, which was actually really good.
It is really good. In fact, I think it's actually one of my mom's favorite. Well, next to the Flintstones, of course, and the Jetsons. But,
the Jetsons. The Jetsons. The funny thing about the Jetsons was that there's a funny scene where the wife gives him her wallet, and Adult Swim always makes fun of this, but they're just
the parody episode.
When he's like when he goes to hand her money, and she goes to take the wallet, and on Adult Swim he's like, no, it's wait a minute. He's like, you're not taking my whole wallet. He's like, you get $1. He's like, you get $20. He's like, that's it. He's like,
I thought that was
blow up my whole wallet.
I thought that was on Family Guy, but
no. It was the Adult Swim did one too. There was a joke on Family Guy. You're right. They did do a Family Guy joke for the Jetsons, but there also was a thing on Robot Chicken.
Yeah,
where he's like, you're not taking my whole wallet.
I remember that. I definitely remember that. But pretty much back then, you had shows like. Just like I originally just talked about. Oh my gosh, where are my words today?
You were talking about Astro Boy.
Yep, Astro Boy. Thank you for giving me back on track.
Yes.
But yeah, Astro Boy, Speed Racer.
Yeah. What else did you list on in the Founder's Thoughts thing? You listed.
And guys, I think we'll also we'll try to put a picture up so you guys can see what I'm reading from. So So yeah, basically, I was pretty much reading from this, pretty much what I highlighted here. It says from the 60s to the 80s, a lot of anime titles that were imported from Japan ended up being heavily altered and localized, even to the point of changing the name of the titles themselves.
Dude, do you remember when Sailor Moon, when the dub for Sailor Moon came, and they altered like almost all the show? They made the one character
there was multiple
brothers.
There were multiple dubs. There's the Saban dub that we all know.
Well, the one I think it was, I don't know if it was who was. It wasn't 4Kids. It was someone. Was it the 4Kids?
No, it was Saban.
It might have been Saban. But one of them was really bad because they did
because
they
were like different dubs of it. There was Usagi.
Yeah.
The original one.
Yeah.
Or Bunny or Serena.
But they did.
Depending on which one
but
you watch.
the one they changed, the two characters were supposed to be two girls. And they changed them into brothers instead of two girls. And they also changed
they might have gender swapped them.
Yeah, they did. And they changed a bunch of other stuff. And it was so bad, but it was also really, really funny.
Yeah, there were like multiple localizations. There was multiple dubs for that one.
Yeah, like I still have one of those original movies. I think it's like the part 1 to one of the movies from the 90s. Someone gave it to me. I haven't watched it yet. I think I watched part of it one time, but I busted out.
I think they might have fixed up some things in the redub.
They did a new series for Sailor Moon not that long ago, and they did everything according to the way it was supposed to be done, and so it was good. People said it was good. It wasn't as good as the original, because they did redo the original one, and they dubbed it properly eventually.
Right.
They did a re-release, I think, and they dubbed it properly the way it's supposed to be, and it was good. But people said that the newer one that they did wasn't as good as the original one. that was dubbed the right way.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would probably say that if you're familiar with the show, are you familiar with the show Robotech?
Yes, because I used to watch it back in the day, which was the beginning of Transformers, I believe, wasn't it?
Well, it was almost, but the original name for Robotech was actually called Macross.
I know. See, that I'm not familiar with. I'm familiar with Robotech because I remember hearing that. I remember watching some of the show.
Yeah, that was the original name in Japan before it got changed to Robotech.
Yeah, interesting.
Before it was called that. And speaking of Transformers, like back then, of course, in America when it finally got here, we called it Transformers.
Yeah.
But it actually
Transformers formed amidst the eye.
Robots in disguise.
Robots in disguise. Yeah, I just like that.
Yeah, okay. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
And roll out. I can't do it, but it'd be cool if I could.
Because I don't know if that song is copywritten or not. Because I ain't got the money to pay for it.
So let me tell you this, right? If you sing a song, right, that's different. But if you play it, you can get copyrighted. Now we can't sing a whole lot of it, but the point is, you guys get the point. Anyway, so we can get away with singing it.
Yeah.
You singing.
Yeah, if we sing it, if we karaoke it horribly, then it's fine.
Well, I would just wish Peter Cullen was here. Shout out to Peter Cullen if you're out there and you see this by any chance. I doubt he'll see it, but hey, if he managed to be watching at some point. Shout out to you, man. You're amazing.
Yeah,
we grew up
definitely.
with watching you as kids, and we used to love that amazing voice of yours. So,
totally.
Yeah, shout out to you.
So, yeah, the original name of Transformers actually came from two different series. One was called Diaclone, and the other one was called Microman.
Ooh, interesting.
I know. It's like
Microman sounds like a joke. It's like, oh, look, I found a Microman.
I know, right? And I also got another interesting tidbit for you. Fun fact: if of course there's all different like meetup groups and everything.
Of course,
when you head to conventions or comic
well,
book
dude,
places,
we know
always different meetup
we used
groups.
to be in a meetup group.
Yeah,
remember, dude? 2 of them. Because we used to do the library thing at our public library around here, and we used to also do one at Spiral Comics, the local comic book store that's close.
We do plan on heading back. We just don't know when just yet.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I guess when the atmosphere is a little safer. But yeah, honestly, the first meetup group was actually called the Cartoon Fantasy Organization.
Cartoon.
I know, right?
Everyone was a Dexter. I had to do it, dude.
Yeah, it was created in LA in 1977. So yeah, and also in LA, did you also know that the very first English dubbed anime distribution company was called Streamline Pictures?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, dude. That I remember hearing something about the first dubbing companies, but I didn't know the name of the very first one. So that's interesting.
Long before Bang Zoom and ADV.
Yeah.
And there was even one in, I guess, Canada called Pioneer.
Pioneer, yeah.
Not Pioneer DJ, if you guys are thinking about it.
Well, Pioneer, the dubbing company Pioneer, I remember because, and also Saban, because I remember seeing their logo on a lot of stuff.
Saban International, Saban Entertainment.
So I remember, and Pioneer, I think did was it Cowboy Bebop, right?
Yeah.
And they also did they did Outlaw they did. I think they did part of Outlaw Star. I'm not sure they did the whole thing. And then they also did what's the other thing? They did oh shoot, what's the other show I'm thinking of? Vash the Stampede.
Oh yeah,
because their logo is all over that series when you watch
definitely.
Vash the Stampede. So yeah.
Yep. They also did that. But
dude, do you know who did Esco Rayed? Was that Pioneer or no? Shocking first bullet. I like that. Steve, shout out to Steve Bloom.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I can't remember who did that one, but yeah.
And I think
we're recording. Can you come back later? Oh, we got a package, guys. Hold on a minute.
Well, apparently we got
another package.
Well, if that's the case, it looks like we're probably going to end up doing a double shot.
Oh, I know what this is. Oh, I know. Thank you.
Cool.
Oh, guys, so we got a package. Oh, yeah, baby.
How about that?
This should be fun.
Yeah, this would be pretty.
I think I know what this is, Dante. I'm not gonna tell you, but I know what this is. I've been waiting for this. You guys are gonna have to wait.
Oh yeah,
to find out what it
you
is.
Guys will be it's another big surprise, and we'll tell you soon, but we can't tell you just yet.
Yeah, we can't tell you. You have to wait to find out. We might have to shoot a triple feature, Dante.
Possibly.
All right. Anyway, sorry for the interruption, guys. Dante, go ahead. Continue with what
now
you were
we
talking
return
about.
to our regularly scheduled program, which is already in progress. Yes.
Yes. Back to our regularly scheduled program.
So, yep. So, basically, you guys, well, as we were just talking about, in 1977, Streamline Pictures was the very first anime
And that,
dubbed.
you said that was before all of them. Before Pioneer, before Saban, before
Before all the ones we know
everybody.
now. Crunchyroll, Viz Media, Funimation, Sentai Filmworks, Aniplex.
Yeah.
Way before all of them. Streamline Pictures.
It'd be
pretty much
interesting.
did it.
It'd be interesting to know what the first Japanese company was that did anime. That would be interesting. The first company in Japan that started doing anime. That would be interesting to find
I
out.
honestly would not be surprised if it was Toei Animation because they've been
Really?
around for
They've
like
been
60
around.
years.
Yeah, they've been around a long time.
I would not be surprised if it was just them. If they were the first ones.
Yep.
They might be the first. We might have to look that up.
Yep. In a world where
Toei Animation
Toei
started it all.
Animation started everything, and it starts with Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
That'd be
But
cool.
don't worry, we'll probably cover that sometime in the future. But for now, speaking of anime inspired, like the biggest series that I know that's pretty much anime inspired.
Well, dude, what about the Spider-Man series, Spider-Man the animated series, and also Batman? All those stuff is considered anime inspired because the drawing style, the art style.
Well, there actually is a manga or comic in Japan.
Yeah.
If you're talking about Spider-Man Japan, then
yeah. Well, so they also have Batman the animated series,
yeah,
the Japan version of Batman the animated series. I've seen.
Well,
figures.
they got Batman Samurai. They do.
They have Batman. Well, that's coming to Toonami. Batman Samurai. They're doing an animated series for Batman. But no, the actual animated series of Batman the animated series, the one from the '90s. There's a figure. Japan does figures from the show, and they're really high quality figures. It's amazing. I've seen a few of them. They're also very expensive, but they've done figures. So there must be a version of Batman the Animated Series in Japan, or at least one that might have been.
There probably is.
Yeah, a version of it. But but dude, is that considered? Because I know you told me some of the animated series that we watched as kids. Some of the anime inspired stuff.
Well,
that we watched
I think like the
took
I
some
think
inspiration
like
from
the. Well,
Yeah.
I'll probably say, like, long before I started watching The Last Airbender, there was another show called Kappa Mikey. And that came on Nickelodeon / Nicktoons.
Yeah.
That particular one...
Was that anime inspired?
Actually, that pretty much was. In fact, it was kind of like... It had, like two different styles. It had the American version where all the outlines are, like, thick.
Yeah.
And then of course, it got... It's kind of like an American... /anime sitcom, if you think about it.
Thick outlines.
And of course one actor in particular was also in that series. Mr. Goku himself, Sean Schemmel.
Really? Wow. Cool.
Yeah, he was.
I am the hope of the universe. So,
I know, right?
I'm the light in the darkness. Anyway.
Now let's see. I think I kind of remember a couple of the characters. There was Mikey. There was the little girl called Mitsuki. Who for whatever reason kind of had a crush on Mikey when he first moved to Japan, because I think the story he was trying to get I guess trying to find a job.
Are you sure, dude? Sean Schemmel was in that?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, not physically, but his voice.
Oh, huh, interesting.
Yeah, so if you actually go back and watch the series,
did you look at the credits coming up, dude? To check?
I did actually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, in fact, there's a couple videos. You know.
Did you know that one of the voice actors we know was in Jackie Chan Adventures, Dante?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. One of the actors we knew was in Jackie Chan Adventures. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. But there's also a handful of other ones. And of course, speaking of Avatar: The Last Airbender, there's that, and also The Legend of Korra.
Yeah. So wait, dude, are those all anime inspired stuff?
I think those. Those do have those. They now.
Because they were made here in America, right, dude?
Right,
Most of them. So
now, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why the Legend. I don't know why certain individuals keep saying that the Legend of Korra is considered anime. It's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's
anime inspired. Yeah.
There's a big difference.
And there is a difference between the two, and also the art styles. Even though the artist,
though they take inspiration from those art styles,
who drew it similar to a Japanese art style, or may have used certain certain techniques that Japan does doesn't mean it's anime.
It doesn't constitute it as being a full blown.
Correct. Yeah. It's
full-blooded
still an American cartoon that was made here, but that is just anime inspired. It's inspired by Japanese artists or Japanese work, which there's a lot of shows out there. Is Jackie Chan like that, Dante? Only that's more Chinese inspired than it would, because China has anime as well, and so does
Korea.
China does. So that's more that's more of probably Chinese inspired than anime inspired, wouldn't you say? Because it would be Chinese anime, wouldn't it? Jackie Chan Adventures.
Kinda.
Although it depends on where the show was made, because I'm not 100% sure about this, but
Yeah.
I believe it was American artists who drew
so
the
don't
show
quote us,
originally. So don't quote us. That probably is more of an anime inspired show than it is actual anime. Actual anime is anything that comes directly from Japan, from a Japanese artist.
Now I would probably say one series that's like literally heavily anime inspired would be Ruby.
Yes. Well, Ruby is kind of a combination between Rooster Teeth and Japan, I believe, directly. From what I was hearing.
Rooster Teeth. I know since I saw like the first couple seasons of it.
Yeah,
it's actually a pretty good show, by the way.
But it's still a collaboration between them and also Japan. So yeah, I believe you're right. It is still anime inspired. I don't know who the artist. I don't know if it's an exact Japanese artist who did that, or whether that is drawn by an American artist, using Japanese style art.
I think it was animated by an American artist, but they kind of drew it in the art style.
Yeah,
they kind of drew it in that anime art style.
So I don't know that, but yeah, I would say you're probably right in saying.
And Genlock was also the same way.
Yeah, it's anime inspired. It doesn't necessarily.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily qualify as a original anime from Japan,
right.
But it still is. It's a really good show. Ruby, I've seen almost all of it except for I think the latest. There's like newer stuff out now that I haven't seen, but most of the show I've watched. Really, really good show. I liked it. I actually enjoyed watching it.
Definitely.
So.
And also, dude, did you also know that there is an anime studio in Japan that's American run and American founded?
Yeah.
It's
yeah, but do they have any Japanese artists who are doing the animation, or no, or is it all done in the United States?
Well, actually, that studio is in Japan, so they pretty much founded that studio in Japan. It's called it's called DR Shitejo.
Huh, interesting. I didn't know.
And they actually done a good handful of titles.
Really? Wow.
The one that I know of the most would be Cannon Busters.
Cannon, but it sounds funny.
and this particular one, because growing up, even though I was really excited about watching anime, I guess the only thing that kind of discouraged me was the fact that how can I put this? I kind of wish I kind of saw a little bit more of myself. Not myself. When I'm talking about myself.
That's funny, dude.
But yeah, I think.
Why? Why do you say that? Why do you say more of yourself? What do you mean?
Well, when I say more of myself, I mean pretty much people of color.
Oh, gotcha.
Because now anime is like a lot more diverse. There's
true.
There's basically different characters pretty much everywhere.
It's kind of funny that like they show different races, right? In anime, with like the people, like the people with anime ears and the what is it? It's called
Now I know back in the day they kind of I know back in the day they kind of did it sparingly.
Yeah, well, it's interesting they didn't do much, or back in the day they didn't do much with. They did different animal creatures and stuff like that, but you never saw many black characters or anything else. They didn't do really much. Yeah, Hispanic. They didn't really do much on different people. They didn't add any different races in there other than just like the animal stuff and things like that. They
just traditional Japanese.
Yeah, and they did like the traditional like aliens or monsters or stuff like that. So it's interesting that now they've really gotten more diverse, which is actually, if you ask me, it's better that they've gotten more diverse, and they're adding in those things that were left out before.
Right.
Yeah,
and I actually gotta applaud them because they're taking major steps in telling different stories from different perspectives and not just from one race or one perspective. I mean, there's like all types like from me to people of color to LGBTQ, they're pretty much going the whole 9 yards, and I definitely got to belong.
So no, dude, back to what you were saying about the show. What you were saying something about there was that show back in the day, and
but yeah, there's and also I think oh yeah, there's also Teen Titans. Now
I like Teen Titans.
Now Teen Titans. Yeah. Now Teen Titans.
Just to clarify, the good Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go, not the other remake shows.
Basically, I would just call them the 03 Titans.
Yep.
Not the football team, but the 03 Teen Titans.
Do you remember?
Because there's two types of Titans. There's the Teen Titans that we know, and the Titans that play in the NFL.
Yes.
But I'm talking about the 03 Titans, just so you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So, dude, I actually remember watching so many episodes.
But remember the one, because I have a comic of it. I think it's on the shelf, on the bookshelf. But there's a comic of when Cyborg gets a virus, and he's sitting in the money machine. He's just like, he's like, no. He's like, no, not a raspberry filling. He's like, I wanted not a.
You can keep your
sprinkles. I want raspberry filling. Yeah. But then the macaroni, he's like, no. He's like, not macaroni. It was funny, yeah.
So yeah, that's actually one of my all-time favorite episodes, honestly.
And then the part where he goes to the couch, he's just like, he looks at the couch, he's like, this is the best peanut brittle I've ever tasted. That's funny.
But there's basically been like a lot of different like anime elements in that show. But yeah, and of course, there's even the whole Trouble in Tokyo.
Yeah, that was a good episode too. I remember that.
Well, actually, the movie.
Yeah, the movie. I watched the whole movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was really well done. But I liked the OG Titan. They also the one where they get in that fight. Remember Dante?
Yeah.
Where Cyborg, he's like,
that one.
He's like, loser, jerk. He's like, what did you say? That was good.
Like, what did you call me? Yeah, it's 5 foot tall and smells like cheap hairdo.
Cheap hairdo. He's like, yeah. That was funny.
But yeah, man. I mean, you basically got Teen Titans. Yeah. And I think you also got the Boondocks too.
Yeah, the Boondocks. Well,
the Boondocks took a little bit.
The Boondocks
took a little bit.
Yeah, the Boondocks took a little bit, but the Boondocks I consider more of a parody thing because that's parodying on real life, on real life situations.
Yeah.
So I mean, the artwork might be a little anime inspired, but the actual like show is a parody of reality,
like real life situations that you find in America.
Yeah, things that would happen to people in the United States and other places. So
true. But yeah, you know, definitely there's basically a big difference between anime and what's inspired by anime.
Yeah. Now it's funny you say anime inspired because, you know, dude, anime didn't just inspire the American cartoons, but it also inspired a lot of movies too. Because remember, we had talked about some films. There's a famous, I don't know the director's, I can't remember the director's name.
In fact, there is a Marvel movie out there right now that I think you guys probably already know and probably should check out.
Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings.
Shang-Chi.
Yep. Inspired by Dragon Ball. True story.
Inspired by the franchise.
But the other thing I was going to mention, dude, what I was going to say was there's a famous, I don't know the director's name, but there's a famous other movie out there that is completely inspired by anime and took scenes from the actual anime and recreated them in live action film. The movie is called a Requiem from a Dream. I can't remember the anime series that it's taken from, but Chris Stuckman, I believe, has a thing on this film, on that film, and he also tells you the name of the director, and also that he bought the rights to the anime, and actually I think owns the anime, just to be able to create the scenes and the stuff in his live action film. I think the film differs a little bit from the anime, but still, it's a very famous film that was pulled from and that was actually inspired from an actual anime in Japan, which is cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Requiem from a Dream. So,
Requiem from a Dream. Yeah.
Sweet. But yeah, guys, I would probably say that you know, hopefully you guys are able to tell the difference between what's anime and, you know, what's anime inspired. Not only has anime inspired, you know, a lot of American animation. But but it's even kind of inspired as soon as it became mainstream. It kind of inspired American culture as well.
Well, so the way I think of it is, I think of it this way, right? Anything that is from Japan directly is considered Japanese anime, or as we used to call it.
Well,
Dante, what was the
the animation?
what was
the
the
media?
Yeah, what was the old term they used to call it? They used to call
Japanimation.
Yeah, Japanimation. Anything from Japan is considered Japanimation and is true Japanese anime. Anything that was made here that was inspired by Japan is anime inspired, and usually is considered American animation with Asian influence in there, or
as basically I like to call it,
there, yeah.
as I like to call it, American anime.
Yeah. So if you guys have trouble telling whether it is or not, that's good, because that means that the American animators here are actually learning something from Japan.
Yeah, you can kind of pick it out.
I wanted to mention this, dude. This reminds me, talking about this topic reminds me of food, right? Because you know how you get like certain restaurants will certain, like a place you go, like say you go to like a Chinese place, or you go to like a Japanese restaurant, or you go like maybe go to Korean place or something like that, right? And the restaurant's like, oh yeah, we do so and so food, and we have a traditional Asian chef or like a traditional chef from like England, or from somewhere in the world who makes the food. You're like, oh cool. You're like, this is not just regular old the terrible stuff that they make in the United States.
Well, you kind of want to make sure it's like
it's actually something good. You know what I mean? Like tacos, right? If you go out for tacos, and you go to just a regular place in the U.S. here that sells tacos, blech, it's like eating. We're not talking Taco Hell. But then if you actually get traditional Mexican food, it's delicious. Like you can get really good Mexican tacos that are amazing, and I've had some really amazing tacos.
Oh, yeah. In fact, it kind of reminds me of that time I took you to that ramen restaurant.
Yeah, but dude, I've been to better ramen restaurants though. I've been to the top 3, and even the best ramen place in LA, which is still not the same as Japan. There are better places in Japan I'd love to go, but one of the couple of those 3 places I went did all have Japanese chefs making the ramen, and they're considered some of the top 3 in LA. Now that's only in LA though. If you go in Japan, there are way more really nice restaurants and really good food.
You'll definitely get that motherland experience from Japan if you actually go there.
The goal for me was to get close to. I would love to go to Japan and actually try ramen in Japan. But for me at the time, the goal was to get close to some of the best ramen ever out there. But also to eat other foods. Like, dude, I had ice cream that was like pitch black, like literally it was dark. Like it was like the night sky. It was so dark, which is really rare because there's like no other places that do it, and it's like a rare flavor. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, interesting.
So they had cool stuff in LA. I did a lot of cool things in LA when I was in LA.
I know, right? Well, I've been to LA once, but I haven't really had a chance to do a whole lot while I was there. And plus it was on like a couple days. I almost had an interview with Steve Bloom. I came pretty dang close to interviewing him. Real close. Yeah. Real close. But yeah, guys, basically that's pretty much the difference between anime and anime inspired, and what it's pretty much done for like American culture.
Yeah, and how it's inspired shows here. I just wish that you'd see more of, Dante, that more good shows. And also more good stuff. I wish people would take more time to actually create good stuff instead of rushing to throw stuff out there. Actually take your time when you're creating something. Develop your story, develop your characters. Make your stuff interesting and really get people into it. Don't just rush through it and throw it out there. Say, oh, here we just gotta throw a bunch of sex and a bunch of other stuff in there, and then boom, we got a show.
Yeah, because there's a lot of there's basically a lot of animation studios that have like really, really strong potential. In fact, I think there's other anime studios that could probably learn something from a couple of them that are actually kind of taking your advice if you think about it.
Yeah.
So I'll probably say that definitely shout out to PA Works, because
yes,
I remember there was an article or video out there where PA Works was actually engaged with the audience, asking what they would like to see. Yeah, if anyone out there, if anyone sees this, and you are someone who worked at PA Works, or you're someone who remembers, PA Works is in Japan, I think.
Yeah. Well, if you're someone in Japan and you see this,
or if you live out there,
and you remember that company, or maybe you worked there or something, shout outs to you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, guys, I think this will pretty much wrap up our difference between anime and anime inspired. But again, definitely, if you have any titles that you think might be anime inspired that we might have missed for whatever reason, you can definitely drop them in the comments below. And also, don't forget to check out some of our like other episodes if you haven't gotten a chance to check them out. But I think right behind us we might be in the mix of doing another reveal.
So we're gonna end. We're
probably pretty much gonna end this episode and then get ready to start for our reveal.
Yeah,
which will be dropping soon. So until then, be nice to each other.
Yes, and stay nerdy.
And stay nerdy, y'all.
Peace.